Yo, what's good, my OT bazongas? See the quality on this camera? How many times you guys gonna stop out with the OT, right? How many times you taking these ass setups? Well, today's not the day. We're going through episode 5, which is stop getting stopped out with OTE. Well, hello again, my OT bazongas. So, before we even get into the video, I just want to say the recent price action for OTE has been lovely, guys. I secured, what was it, 6 or 7k, oops, 6, 7, on my Lucid accounts for a payout, 7k payout, and then I took out, what was it, 5k on Top Step, which is pretty clean. And yeah, I'm just going to go over pretty much the basics, the main reasons why your trades are getting stopped out, and I've highlighted them. Before we even go into examples, I've highlighted the 3 main points, right? And we need to focus on each and every single one of these before we even consider taking OTE setups, okay? Simple. Okay guys, so the first things we need to go over, right, really simple. So why does bias, inducement, and time possibly invalidate your setups? So we'll start with bias, right? What do I say all the time? And I'm not sure if I can say this on YouTube, but if you're trading against the bias, okay, if your bias is incorrect and your draw is incorrect and you're still taking that OTE trade, you are gambling. You are tossing coins in a jackpot machine, right? Because you need to have direction in order for a range to be valid, okay? If you're just taking a range, you're just going to get stopped out. There's no reason for that range to play. If it's against your draw, and you even know that, there's people who just see a range, oh, PD raise, oh, it's clean, oh, it's reacting off something. But if it's against your bias and against your draw, you're kind of cooked, my friend, right? You're going to be cooked. So you need to really understand that. This is the most important point. I've said it multiple times. Before you enter that trade, we have the 3-step, the golden rule. Find that bias and find that draw. Validate that bias and validate that draw. Of course, it's not your fault if you're inexperienced, right? If you're just trying, okay, you believe your draw is correct and it's wrong, obviously there's people there who can explain to you, no, this is why your draw was wrong. It was obviously bearish today. That was because we invalidated, let's say, the daily range 7-9 and we was continuing to dump down, or we had untaken draws or data lows, data highs, etc. I will be making another video on data lows, data highs, because they're extremely important, and my friend Dodgy is always yapping about them, and he is the GOAT. Dodgy, best inverse fair value gap trader ever. Keep it up. Okay, boom, perfect. Let's move on to inducement, right? We're going to do loads of examples, but we want to make this quite a slow and nice, calculated, educational video, right? Inducement. I'm going to kind of draw this out. There's a PDA. PDA, fair value gap, right? Price is coming into that fair value gap, and we make the range. A lot of the time, you're going to get taken out. Why? Why is that? Price then, it takes you out, but then it continues to go to that draw, right? Well, there's a reason behind that. And before we make big moves in key times and key volatility areas, which can be London, Asia, New York, specific times where we need that inducement is going to get used before we make that dump. And now you need to understand when that's going to happen, because you can't just be entering every range thinking, oh, this high is going to get swept and then we're going to make the valid range. You have to be using inducement to understand that, which I'll go through in the video. But a key way to just kind of see what time this is and times it will occur the most. When you open in Asia and we're already rejecting off of a PD ray, if we've not rejected off the 705 already and made that inducement and swept that inducement, then we will most likely retrace into and sweep it. Okay, that's key times like New York, especially New York AM. A lot of the time, highs and lows will be used as inducement before we go lower. Inducement, summarized up for the people who haven't watched all my videos, is just basically liquidity in the market that needs to be taken out before we induce the full move. And I just realized I just misspelled inducement. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay, and that kind of leads on to the third one, right? 1 bias, 2 inducement, 3rd time. Okay, time is probably the most important bit. You can see a range. It's so valid. Your TP is 150 points away. Your draw is correct. Your range is correct. Your PD rates are correct. Why does that trade not play? Well, the reason is, John, the reason why your trade is not playing, Steve, right? Well, we're going to call you Jeffrey. Jeffrey, the reason why your trade is not playing is because you're trading the Monday Asia Open and it hasn't even opened yet. You're trading the second market that's opened on Asia. Now, there's certain criteria to follow in order for a range to play right off open, but the majority of ranges will not. Okay, there's a reason behind that, and that's because it's kind of like timed inducement. Time is where volatility is going to occur. Don't expect price to go towards a TP of 150 points when we're opening with 0 volatility and banks involvement inside of the market. We are trading because there is involvement from people who trade a lot more cons and bullshit than we are on sim funded accounts, right? I'm teaching you guys how to trade prop firms, okay? So remember to have key basic knowledge and times when to trade. Don't be trying to validate an A plus setup in a bad time. A plus setup cannot be in a bad time, right? And it's very rare if you do find an A plus setup, but it has to follow extreme criteria in order for that to be an A plus setup. Okay, that's kind of the third point. Okay, time, bias, inducement. Time. I'll go over that one more time. Get it? Okay, it's kind of a pun, right? No. Okay, so we'll go over time one more time. Okay, we'll go over time one more time. Right? Time is basically just don't take trades and don't think trades are going to be A plus in an area where we don't have that volatility to even reach a TP. Okay, if you have a TP that's 150 points away, why would you enter in a time where price is moving 3 points a candle? Not even 3 points, right? It doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't make sense. Okay, really simple. Now let's get on to the examples, guys. Super duper duper. Okay, guys. So first example, and I just noticed that my mic is utterly terrible. I literally bought this mic, right? And I have no idea how to use it. So Pew just has the money, but not the sense, right? Unfortunately, I will manage to sort that out soon. But the first example, I want you to ask why this trade doesn't play. Now, just pretend, right? Obviously, the range isn't necessarily that rich in, that isn't necessarily that rich when it comes to the PDAs within it, obviously. However, it's technically still valid. Although the 1 hour inverse is filled, there is a 1 hour order block slash, CISD, and then you also have, I think it's a Devil's Mark aligned with the 7-9, right? So it's pretty clean. And there's also 15-minute inverses as well. Anyways, that's not the point. We're not dividation. Sorry, we're not diving deep into the range. We're actually just looking for the reasons why these ranges aren't playing. Aside from the fact that it isn't necessarily that nice in general, there's actually a really obvious reason. I'm going to zoom out and give you 3 seconds to think why. Come on, guys, don't be stupid. How many times have I taught you this? Come on, guys. Thank you. We have an unfilled, right? And it's not just any unfilled, it's an unfilled NWOG, right? Or is it NDOG or MWOG? Yeah, MWOG, right? So new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps are the most important draws you need to focus on. These are always going to get re-entered in, okay? And that's basically when price opens and leaves a gap of no price action within it, okay? And that's basically price needs to fill it. These can also be used for entries, the equilibrium of it, the opening, everything, but that gap needs to be filled, understand? So taking this trade is the most BZ plus setup in the world. You probably make more money just shorting off of it, right? It's terrible range. And I know for a fact, on a day like this, people would genuinely consider taking this range. So I'm going through, first reason, draw. Don't be a dumbass. Don't be a snincompoop. Don't trade against the draw, or else you're going to be losing all your money. Price probably gave you ranges to trade from down there, in fact. Like, yeah, exactly. Look how many ranges played. So, like, we have this range is playing from the 7-9, and then we have this range that sweeps everything out, and that plays from the 7-05. You see? 7-05 of this range plays, and then brings us down to the draw. Once we touch the draw, price comes back up, and that's when you'll be thinking, all right, we're kind of like unconventionally bias focused now. We don't really know where price is going to go. After it takes that full draw, then you need to get off the market, right? Kind of simple. But you see how when you trade with the bias, you get more trades, right? And you trade against the bias, you're losing everything. Simple. And let's get on to the next one. Okay, guys, so next one. This is like such an ass, like, bro. A million times this will happen. Times where you get used, abused, and then price goes to the TP without even giving you an entry. You got to kind of get used to that in trading. But it's very clear we're win for short on this day, right? Because as you can see, we've left this low. So we've kind of gone down, edged this low, and then price really needs to remeet that low. Kind of simple, right? Now, you do have the continuation range to look at, which isn't necessarily extremely important, but that's not the point. The point is, price is already rejecting off of this PD ray. So why on the higher time frames would we not react from this range? Now, aside from, let's just pretend the range isn't also poorly mitigated, because we have literally no PDAs within this to trade. So that's another reason why. We already know this is common knowledge. Don't take trades inside a range that is not mitigated. But look what we do. We literally sweep the whole thing and use it as inducement. And even though, right, the Okay, guys, and the final one, like I said, I'm in my dressing gown now. I had to go and take my snooze out, and I realized, why about I get my dressing gown? So I did. One mic adjustment, guys, mic adjustment. Oh, you do a little camera adjustment too. There we go. So yeah, I mean the last one's really clear. I don't even have to find setups. You can do this every single day, right? Literally, we'll go through every single day. Like, look, so this is after New York. This is after New York PM. So this is not even Asia. This is after New York PM. What are you trying to trade off, brother? What are you trying to trade off? Everything is literally just chop. Everything is chop. We shouldn't be looking for any time frame ranges during this time at all, right? At all. Like we find 9:30, you go a couple hours past New York PM, and look, everything is just kind of chop. Even in these scenarios, like your 5 minute ranges aren't going to play. Everything is just really choppy. I really don't want to go into detail and like pick point setups. You don't want to be trading these times. There isn't enough inducement in the market to actually trade. Here, once again, look at this. Look at this. What are you trading from, brother? Yeah, it might be going in a direction, maybe even towards a draw. But what is this? This is close, by the way. This is market close. So you're trying to trade in this time. Be careful, guys. I'm telling you, time is very important. Don't just be on the charts because you have to be on the charts. And that's going to wrap up the video, really. That is literally going to wrap up the video. Go for yourself, guys. This is the homework. Go and look at the times that you trade. Go and look at every single trade you took on that eval or that funded account. Look at the date and time of the losses and see how all of them are in shit times. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Anyway, so bootcamp video kind of finished. Episode 5. I'm going to be doing loads, so I love you all and shalom. Whoa, I gotta be careful doing that. Gotta be careful doing that one. Whoa, what am I doing? Alright. Shalom, my OT bazongas. Have a great day. Love you all.